Hey, what's up guys? The Theironhulk is back again with a very special review. In spirit of AVP AL Part 3, we are going to do a few AVP and Predator and Alien franchise figures reviews over the course of these next 2 weeks until Thanksgiving. And today, as you can see, we have the elder Predator from the first AVP film. I've actually just got this guy recently. I got him from a buddy of mine on the Spawn.com boards. He actually has his own website, which is posted below. Hive of Villainy, very awesome, very cool figures. But on to this guy here. You know, he's actually a pretty hard to find figure nowadays. I'm not sure if he goes for the same amount as Scar does on eBay, but I know he's not cheap. You know, he is a great figure. Really, he's a really awesome figure, especially for the time it came out. And this right here is a perfect example of McFarlane toys in their prime. You know, the past 3 years have been pretty troublesome for McFarlane, at least to me. They've let go of their core franchises. They've kicked Spawn out the door, and they've pretty much just married Halo. And you know, they kept the sports picks, which is cool, but yeah, they've definitely sold themselves out, and NECA has reigned supreme now. But back in 2004, when everyone was a little bit more humble and the world was still kind of, you know, into less high-end collectibles, McFarlane Toys was the supreme leader. NECA was around, but they weren't as, you know, popular as McFarlane. But they were getting there. They were getting close. So, what to say about this figure? He's a really cool looking guy. He's the elder, so, you know, he's gonna have nice blue hair, and he has the same armor as Celtic and Scar. So if you own Celtic or Scar already, you're gonna have pretty much the same articulation as this guy. Of course, the notable differences, his cape, of course, is probably the biggest difference. Very awesome, very nicely detailed in the back. Let me close up on here. Very nice cape, and the shading is very nice, with the coloring and the reds, the dark reds, the blacks. Very nice. We move on to the face, and as I said, for a figure made back in 2004, this is really great looking. Real bummer though that Scar was never given a unmasked 6 or 7 inch release. He was only released unmasked with the 12-inch version, which I do own, but I've always saw that as a very disappointing figure. Yeah, but this guy, he's really nice looking. Of course, not fantastic, but looks really good. The detail on his shoulder, very awesome mask. I really like this detail. I believe he comes with this mask in the movie. I think he's holding it. So I'm not sure why they just didn't include the mask as an accessory, but nevertheless, very nice sculpt on the arm. Kind of gives a bit of a difference, albeit a very small difference, but still very nice. You can see the skulls on his chest, and everything else from the waist down is exactly the same as the other two Predators. He does have his cool dagger like the other guys as well. Very neat. So yeah, paint apps are really nice. Articulation, this is where it's kind of like a mix for me. From probably the chest down, it's fantastic. He's got a really nice ball joint, and he can bend at the upper waist, and then he has a swivel waist, and then he has ball jointed legs, which is probably the best part of this figure. Very good for posing. You know, he can do that. Then he has you know, jointed knees, and then he has, I believe it's a ball jointed ankle, or ball jointed ankles, but yeah, I think they are, but they're very restricted though because of the armor. Now we move up to the arms, and he does have ball jointed arms, but they're just not, they're not that great because of this right here. He has swivel elbows, but they're so lame because all three of the Predators have the exact same mold. So they all do the same exact kind of poses. Quick size comparison. Here's Classic Pred. Yes, I named him Classic Pred from NECA. He's a lot smaller than the Elder. As you can see, he's almost, I feel, less detailed than Elder. I'm still not 100% sure on this, but I think it's just the plastic that they used on Classic that makes him look a little bit cheaper. He looks a lot shinier, and I'm glaring him in my lights right now, and the plastic they used on Classic is just, yeah, it looks a lot cheaper. Still a fantastic figure though. These are two different companies, so obviously you can see that McFarlane did make the bigger Predator figures. This isn't to say that McFarlane made the best Predator figures, because honestly, NECA actually did better with the upper portion of this guy, and I feel like McFarlane did better with the lower portion. So if there was ever some sort of fusion between these two guys, it would be like the perfect Predator figure, and that's called the Hot Toys Berserker. But you know, I know that was a jerk move. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, fantastic figure. If you feel like spending the money, I think he goes 50 to 80 bucks on eBay. I got a great deal from my buddy. You might find a deal, probably not on eBay, but look around if you really want one of these guys. I know Scarred is pretty much hopeless. Mint in box, he's hopeless. Loose, you might have a good chance. Celtic, same thing. So yeah, great figure. If you like the Elder Predator and you don't want to buy this guy because you think it's too much money, then just wait for Series 3 of the NECA Predators line, because they're going to release a Predator 2 Elder, which I'm really excited about. I'm sure it'll just be this guy with his head popped off and this guy's head popped on. But I'm still excited. So alright guys, throughout these next 2 weeks I'm going to have a bunch of fun reviews up, and yeah, get excited for AVP 3 because it's coming real soon. Alright guys, adios.